I'll just go to writing task 2 and give you. Hello, good evening, and welcome to today's discussion. Today we are still continuing with our IELTS task 2. Okay, last time we talked about writing task 1 and how to conquer it, and we went step by step into the formula for it. Then today we'll be talking about the writing task 2. Writing task 2 generally presents you a topic, okay, and usually the question asks for your opinion on the topic, and sometimes it tries to make you discuss from both sides of the coin, like the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages, the fors and the against, things like that. So, for example, a topic like this was done in October 2020, last IELTS last year. Okay, so it says some think scientists should be allowed to send messages into space to communicate with other life forms, while others believe this is too dangerous. Discuss both sides and give your own opinion. So that is you can see it's asking you to discuss both sides, and it's also asking you to voice your own opinion on the matter. So now, for you to be able to comfortably give your opinion, first of all, you need to understand that there's going to be a formula. First of all, they expect you to give to use, let's say, 250 words to write this down. Okay, 250 words. Writing task 1 was 150 words. This one, they expect you to do it in 250 words. So if you know what you are doing, you should be able to be done in 20 minutes. Once you know the formula, you know what to write, you hit your points. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Your paragraphs are on point, So the major thing about writing an essay is that your paragraphs must be on point. Each paragraph should have a topic sentence, should have something it is about. So you just have like an introduction, the body, and conclusion. Let's say three main divisions for every essay you're writing. Okay, an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Just knowing this will help you in any type of essay. Let's say tomorrow you want to do a master's, you want to write an essay abroad, you want to do anything at all that requires an essay, you know how to start. As an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So introduction, based on the formula, we're going to go over it. All right. So in the introduction part, you are supposed to restate the topic sentence. You're supposed to restate the question in your own words. Okay. So say some think scientists should be allowed to send messages into space to communicate with other life forms, while others believe this is too dangerous. So you paraphrasing this statement should be like you can put it any way you like. Okay. So many people are of the opinion that scientists should send messages into space to communicate with aliens, while another school of thought thinks it is, dangerous. It is risky. You try to use synonyms. Many people think that scientists should send messages into space to communicate with aliens, while another school of thought thinks it is too risky. In my opinion. So you are supposed to state they ask you to give your own opinion. So in the next sentence of the question, in the next sentence of your first paragraph of your introduction, you're supposed to state your opinion immediately, so that the reader, the examiner, already knows what you are thinking about. So you can say, in my opinion, I agree with those who, you state your opinion. Do you think should be allowed to go into space? Do you think it's too risky? What do you think? You state it immediately. Okay. In my own opinion, I think scientists should go into space because there's so much benefits. Because I think the benefits outweigh the risks. Okay. Then you're going into the next paragraph and to talk about the benefits and the risk and all that. So that's generally how to do it. So I'll show you some examples. Okay. For example, this one is about farming. Let me use this one because this is the one I've already talked about, aliens. Okay. Now this is the question. Some think scientists should be allowed to send messages into space to communicate with other life forms, while others believe this is too dangerous. So discuss both sides and give your opinion. Both sides and give your own opinion. All right. So now here is where the question starts. Now this is the example being solved by Dave. Dave is an IELTS examiner, okay, that has been marking scripts for a long time. So the formula that he gave us to share with you is very important. So many are of the belief that contacting possible alien life is a desirable goal, while others are wary of the potential dangers. In my opinion, he's stating his opinion immediately. So this first sentence is about paraphrasing the topic. Same thing happens in even in writing task one. If you remember, we usually paraphrase the topic. Okay? Then the next sentence, since they're asking for your opinion, you're now stating while in writing task one, in the next sentence, you are going to try to summarize the entire, picture, the entire pictorial, the entire table, the entire whatever. But in writing task two, you are going to state your opinion because that's what the question is asking you about. The question says, state your opinion, give your opinion. So you're stating it immediately. In my opinion, though this satisfies basic human curiosity, the risk is too great relative to the benefits. That's Dave's opinion. Though me, I think that the benefits will outweigh the risks. But in Dave's opinion, all right, the the though this satisfies basic human curiosity, the risk is too great relative to the benefits. He has stated his opinion. Paragraph one, introduction is done. You understand? He's going straight into the meat of the matter. Now, for the body of the essay, all right, you have like two paragraphs. I would suggest, that you have two paragraphs. The first paragraph, you should measure it on benefits. So this is how it goes. Okay, the first paragraph, maybe measure it on benefits or disadvantages, and anyone you choose. You can go pros first in the first paragraph, then cons in the second paragraph, or you go cons in the first paragraph and pros in second. Anyhow you choose to write it, but the first paragraph should be about something. So if it's the benefits, you measure on that one. Now, among the benefits, now you state your maybe two benefits, and give two examples each. So if you state one benefit, you give an example or expatiate on that benefit. So let's look at the way he's going about it. So the reason to try to communicate with extraterrestrials is to learn more. See, he's using a lot of synonyms instead of saying aliens, or instead of saying um other life forms. Okay, you can use extraterrestrials, you can use aliens, you can use other life forms. So learn to use your synonyms. So he says the reason to try to communicate with extraterrestrials is to learn more about the universe. He has stated one of the advantages, okay, or one of the pros of doing that, one of the benefits. Okay, so now he's going to give an example in the next sentence. Say, some might claim alien life could have technology or insight to share, but the chances of these are too small to justify the effort. Instead, the average person and the scientists alike simply want to learn if there are other forms of life. Then he's going into another thing. Let's say humans have dreamed of aliens in novels and films for decades, and some feel every attempt to realize these dreams is warranted. If alien life is discovered, not only will it satisfy this desire, but it may also help humanity understand their own origins, place in the universe, and answer fundamental existential questions. All right. So this guy stated two major points. Okay. One is about technology. All right. Said we might be able to learn technology or insights. Okay. Then the second one is about satisfying a desire. All right. So these are the two advantages that he stated based on what he wrote here. And then, the first, when you write your topic sentence, okay, then the first sentence is about trying to state what, the advantage. Then the next one will be about expanding it, like giving an example. For example, here he said, instead, the average person and the scientists alike simply want to learn if there are other life forms. So, like, he's just expatiating on topic sentence that he has stated here. Now, let's look at advantages. That's the second paragraph in the body of the essay. Okay, so he now says, however, however, sometimes you don't have to say secondly or firstly, but I think at your level you should use firstly, secondly. Okay, so that helps the examiner to know where you are. But when you get to a very good mastery of English language and you are a very good writer, you can feel free to use other expressions that will still tell the examiner where you are and what you are saying and what you're trying to achieve. All right. So now this person is very good, so he can obviously get away with a lot of things. There are some sentences, like his sentences are very long and complex. Don't make your sentences long and complex like his own. Just state it simply. Be simple, because if you try to make complex sentences, or you may end up making errors, grammatical errors, spelling errors, and all that. So you don't want that to happen. Just keep your sentences simple and straight to the point, since you are just a beginner. All right. So, however, curiosity alone is not enough to condone accepting even the smallest chance of the danger inherent in alien contact. So he's now negating what he said earlier, because remember, you're trying to discuss schools of thought. Okay, they asked for your opinion, and two, they asked you to explore the different schools of thought. So you are like trying to think from other people's, what other people would say, not exactly what you would say. It's eventually that you will now state your own, your final thoughts on the matter. Okay, so you now said, however, curiosity alone is not enough to condone accepting even the smallest chance of danger inherent in alien contact. The likelihood of an alien form turning against humanity, like a scene from a science fiction film, are infinitesimally small, but the consequences are too great to ignore. Okay, he has stated one. In the event that aliens were found and hostile to humanity, it could pose a serious problem, and in the worst case scenario, threaten the survival of the human race. This far-fetched but disastrous downside logically dictates the more sensible approach of continuing to develop human technology and wait until the distant future to venture to locate alien life. So this is this feels like I'm watching a sci-fi movie anyway, but that's these are some examples of the kind of questions they can give you. Okay, and this is a real question from October last year. All right. So you can see the way he negated what he said above. Like, the benefits could be to go in there because you have desire to want to learn more about aliens and the technology. Okay, you want to satisfy the curiosity. You want to get their technology. Okay, but here he's stating that perchance you find aliens and they are dangerous. Okay, perchance you find aliens and there's a little chance that they're actually dangerous, and we have the technology to to clear out the whole human race, that it could be very, very risky for humans to do that. We should wait till a future time when we will have enough technology, okay, when we have advanced well enough in technology to be able to combat whatever it is that out there. Because this writer is assuming that when you find aliens, that definitely their technology will be more than yours. All right, so that is bodies of the body of this current essay. All right, so you can see in the body there's a paragraph one. It has so many sentences. Okay, essentially divided into two prose. Okay, then in the cons paragraph, I think he gave like two cons as well. Okay, and now the final paragraph is about conclusion. Like I told you, it has introduction, body, and then conclusion. So the final paragraph is, in conclusion, and I expect you to actually state it this way. In conclusion, the self-interested pursuit. So here now you are going to state your final thoughts. Okay, you are going to put one and two together. You are going to restate that your opinion again, but in another way, trying to summarize everything. Okay, so it says, in conclusion, the self-interested pursuit of other life forms has too much potential for species-threatening danger to be advisable. Instead, so he's providing a solution now, he's providing his own solution. So he said, instead, government should focus on maximizing resources for more advanced technology. Full stop. You are done. All right. So when you have the formula at the back of your mind, like it makes this essay writing very easy. Now let's analyze everything that he did. I've already analyzed it for you, but we can go over the analysis again. First sentence, there are two sentences in the first paragraph. I told you that the first paragraph is an introductory paragraph. Okay, the first paragraph, the first sentence in the paragraph is to paraphrase the overall essay topic. Paraphrase. That's the same thing we did in writing task 1. Okay, you always paraphrase. Write it in your own words. That same topic that they give you, as if you are just copying the sentence, but don't copy and paste. Just try and rewrite it in your own words. Okay, and put it there. And the second sentence, okay, is where you state your opinion. For writing task 2, state your opinion clearly. For writing task 1, summarize, because that's what the question asks of you. It says you should summarize. Okay, so you try to summarize the topic. But for writing task 2, which is what we are discussing right now, you state your opinion. They want to know your opinion. Okay, you're not just discussing the two sides. This school of thought says this, that school of thought says that. No, in the end, we also want to know, what do you think about this topic? So state your opinion clearly from the beginning. Making your conclusions, the examiner knows that this is where you land. It's just like you want to shoot an arrow. Everybody, you are pointing it somewhere before you shoot it. So everybody knows where the direction you are going. Okay, so that's what you should always do. All right. So now the second paragraph, like I told you, is the pro cons paragraph. Anyone you choose, you can go cons first, you can go pros first. But this guy went for pros first because he's more in support of the cons. So I think you should write the part you are more in support of, like on the last side. Like just like you said, this. Then in the last part, you now negate it. You now say, however, okay, however, this is, I don't agree with so and so because this is that. You understand? So now you state. He says the reason to try to communicate with extraterrestrials is to learn more about the universe. He has stated the general topic sentence of this entire body. So now that's what the first sentence is about. Write a topic sentence with a main idea at the end. Then explain your main idea or make qualifications or caveats. So here he explains his main ideas, okay, and tries to. Then you now begin developing your main idea, develop it fully, and finish developing the same main idea. Okay. So for me, the way I see it is about, you write your topic sentence, okay, you pick a main idea. For example, one of the pros that you choose, you give an example of that pro, an example or explanation of that pro. Pick another pro. So 2 examples in the pros, 2 examples in the cons. Sentence your paragraph should be full and you'll be ready for the exam. You understand? That's the way I see it. Okay. So if you do it that way, you are good to go. In the second paragraph, which is the cons paragraph, okay, you have to write a topic sentence as well. Like, what is the entire paragraph about? What is about the cons? So he now said, however, curiosity alone is not enough to condone accepting even the smallest chance of danger inherent in alien contact. So this is the topic sentence, and danger inherent in alien contact. Smallest chance of danger inherent in alien contact. That's where the meat of everything that is going to talk about in this entire paragraph, everything is going to talk about is lying here. All right. Smallest chance of danger inherent in alien contact. That is what all these other, sentences are talking about. So you now use the other sentences to expatiate your topic sentence. Okay, expatiate. Each one you mention, you give an example. Each one you mention, you give an example. That's basically what it is. Then in the last paragraph, you summarize. Okay, you conclude. Okay, so in conclusion, you try to bring everything together. You have stated the pros, you have stated the cons. How do you now merge them together to still restate, your initial opinion that you stated? How do you bring them together? That's essentially what this guy was doing. So he now said, in conclusion, the self-interested pursuit of other life forms has too much potential for species threatening danger to be advisable. Instead, governments should focus more on maximizing resources for more advanced technology. You can see how it goes here. So it's as simple as that. There's really, writing is not difficult. It's when you try to make it difficult. When you don't have this formula, you know it gets difficult for you. But when you have the formula, when you have a direction, you know what you want to write. Even before you see the question, you already know what you are going to write. The only thing you are just going to pick the body and try to find that particular writing. So that's essentially what it is about. So once you have this formula, you know you have your introduction, you know you have your body, you know you have your conclusion. Then in the introduction, the first sentence should be about paraphrasing the topic sentence or the topic question. All right. The second sentence should be about stating your opinion. Okay. Then in the body, you should have two paragraphs. All right. The first paragraph should be about um, the pros, depending on which one you decide to go for. It should be about the pros, and the second paragraph should be about the cons. Now, in the pros paragraph, you can give two pros. Okay. In the cons paragraph, you can give two cons. Okay. Now, under the pros, when you give a pro, you give an example or you expatiate on it. When you give a cons, you give an example or you expatiate on it. That's basically how you go about it. I'm going to share with you an essay on a topic, a question that I wrote by myself. Where is it? Okay. Yeah. Um, it's from WhatsApp. I'll show you the question first of all. This is actually something I discussed with one of my students, one of my IELTS students. All right. All right. So the question was about public libraries, whether you think public libraries, I believe you can see the screen. This is my WhatsApp actually. I'm not supposed to be sharing this, but so the question was about public libraries and whether public libraries should be, um, you know, should be continued or discontinued. Now, this essay, I sent it to one of my students. I wrote it by myself. Okay, so I want to share like the approach that I used, which is still the same formula, but I just made it very simple. When you count these words, you find that they are more than 250. But I wrote this essay in less than 20 minutes, okay, because I already have the formula. I knew what to write. Okay, so now says I try to paraphrase the topic sentence. All right. So here it is. There is an ongoing debate on whether the public. So there's an ongoing debate on whether public school libraries should be built or discontinued. In my opinion, physical library buildings are a thing of the past. All right. Now, one school of thought believe that physical library buildings must be continued. This is this is the first sentence. Okay, the introductory sentence. There is an ongoing debate on whether public libraries should be built or discontinued. This is my own way of paraphrasing the topic. Okay, now I stated my opinion immediately. In my opinion, physical library buildings are a thing of the past. Okay, that's it. That's my opinion. All right. Now, I now went into the meat of the matter as the body of the sentence. All right. The first paragraph was about the cons, I think. It was about supporting those who are talking about physical libraries. Now, I'm saying one school of thought believe that physical libraries must be continued. Now, firstly, a library provides scholars with a quiet place to study. This is what the school of thought thinks. Okay, firstly, a library. So this is what I think you should do. You should use that firstly, secondly. Okay, it will help you to you're kind of numbering your work, okay, and to help the examiner to find where you are. But if you are very good with English, you don't have to do it. But for beginners, you should do it because it helps you to be in the mental space and count your points and all that. Okay, so I'll say firstly, a library provides scholars with a quiet place to study. In a world that is full of noise and distraction, this is me now expatiating on the main idea. Okay, in a world that is full of noise and distractions, solace of this nature is necessary for maximum assimilation. Now, second one, I said, secondly, there is no feeling like touching and interacting with books. This is the next idea. This is next reason why physical libraries should, continue to be built and all that. So there is no feeling like touching and interacting with books. There is a certain joy and comprehension that a physical copy of a book gives. Besides, you can easily make annotations for future references. These are the points that I felt should be highlighted from that school of thought that feels physical library is the best thing since fried rice. All right. Okay. So now, on the other hand, this is how I introduced the other part. And I say, on the other hand, you can say, however, you can say, on the other hand. So, on the other hand, as stylization takes over all sectors, library cannot be an exception. This is the second main idea. This is the next paragraph, okay, in the body, and this one is talking about the online, okay, the digitalization. So, and I said, on the other hand, as digitalization takes over all sectors, the library cannot be an exception. Firstly, I'm still using those counting words. Okay, firstly, it is easier to access books from an online interface. No more need for walking down the aisle of a library or requesting the help of a librarian. Okay, all you just need is type in your search word and voila, you have your book. You're ready to read. All right. So that is one. Then secondly, location does not matter when it comes to digital books. Location does not matter when it comes to digital books. You can literally study from the moon and the quality will be the same anywhere, any day. All right, so that is the second sentence. Now, in conclusion, I opine that the minor advantages of a physical library is not enough reason to keep building gigantic structures. The internet has come to stay, and we must use its technology to build better, faster, and more accessible libraries of the future. This was how I wrote the essay. Okay, and it's just short and sweet. Okay, there's no much jargon, no much use of words that will get me in trouble and all that. So I think you should use that same formula. With this particular formula we're talking about, just keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple, stupid, right? All the time. Just keep it simple and you are good to go. That's what I believe should help you. Okay, so I think I hit the point. You can go back to continue. So that's essentially that. For this particular topic about alien life and all that, some of these things you have to go back and look at them. You have access to the app. You can look at them over and over and over and over again. Okay, and vocabularies are there. There are things, you shouldn't be monotonous when you're writing. You use different topics, use different sentences, different sentence structures, different words. You cannot be saying the same thing that has many synonyms. Say it in different words. Say it in different ways. All right. So instead of saying aliens, you can say other life forms. Instead of saying other life, you can say extra ET. Okay. So that's that about that. So when you do that exercise over and over and over and over and over, just go over it. You'll be fine. You'll be able to pick up. Okay? Thank you for watching. I believe we have done justice to the topic of today.